on a tear. Because we were looking at it down here, and I think I had a note to buy it, and I ended up not seeing my note. So I'm pretty sure I missed out. I keep saying I was going to check my wallet and find out, but it's on Base. I've got a Base wallet, but I don't think I went for Banker. I think I went more into MFG and Rise, but I would have looked for Banker if I'd thought about it. Oh well, man. So that would have been, that's a nice come up right there. Look, it's up 200% while everything else is freaking just struggling to survive here. So we're looking at a channel. You can look at the measure move. It's already made it though. Measure move is already hit about where the candle body closed. Pull our Fibonacci's out because we like to play with our Fibonacci's. Where are you hanging out? Ooh, you went up to a total 1-to-1. So you will probably get a little bit of a pullback here, I would think. This is on the daily too. We'll get a little better feel on the smaller time frames. And we did come back below the 886, so it touched up there, made a double top. So that's one of the signs that we might get a comeback. We make a double top. It couldn't get back. It couldn't get up past its previous high unless it decides to go on a tear. If we see some kind of bullish formation forming on the smaller charts, and then we might have a chance, right? But typically, this is where we pull back, right? And so from this point, we will go from swing low, and I'm going to go from the bottom down here all the way to the top. And then we're going to look at some particular Fibonacci's. Now, a big move like that, if you wanted to go for the 50% move of the impulse, you would go from this move over here, right? And you'd be targeting this. Your vector candles, ladies and gentlemen, your vector candles. So you got that idea on the local. So we'll put him as a dotted line. But I, on the other hand, I am going to take this from the very bottom over here. And it being a channel and knowing that channels have a possibility of coming back to retest the breakout point is not unreasonable to look at this area just right under the 618 or at the 618. And that would be quite the come down and quite the entry to get back in. 52% drop. It could happen. Not saying that it's definitely going to, but that is. If we're going to continue bullishly upward, if we're going to do that, we need to see a strong bounce here. Like a flag formation. Yeah, I said the word flag because there are some criteria that I will agree that we have a flag, and then there's those that I'll say that's you're just forcing patterns, ignoring the resistance. All right, so I've been looking for it to pull back about 25% to what is that? 0.00063 area. Now, okay, so we see this on the daily. Indicators look good. They're getting a little tired, but they still looks like they got a little bit more push available on the daily. So we'll take that into account as we go down to smaller time frames. You got rising price and falling volume. That's important to note right there. That means that this push up is not as authentic as it looks, at least on this candle yet, right? Until we get this candle closed. But we got 19 hours for that volume to come up, so we'll see. But it is leaning to the downside, right? And what price is leaning to the upside? That's a divergence in volume and price, saying that's a little weak. That would be your hidden divergence for volume. Hidden bearish divergence for volume. However, your Ichimoku Cloud is saying, baby, this one's going to be a winner right here. So we just let it get a pullback because it does look like it's got a lot more in store for it after it does chill out, right? So let's come down to the 4 hour, and you ain't looking tired at all yet. I mean, your indicators are. You got bearish divergence going on. So, but gosh darn it, you look kind of sexy. On the 4 hour, look at our moving average strategy over here, 800, 600, 300. Still in bearish formation. We can get a pull back to touch these. Most likely the 800, maybe even Miss Lucy down here. She likes to get her nose in everything. So, and before, by the time price gets down here, these will be up some. So, that gives us a little bit more credence to the idea of retesting the breakout area. So we got that idea. I'm going to go ahead and draw trend lines where I see them because I love trend lines and what they tell me, because that kind of falls in with where we could be coming back to. All right. And now, what else are we going to do here? All right, so 4 hours still looks kind of strong. There's that bearish divergence that's starting to form here. Now, if we're in a parabolic move, my rules are a little bit different. All right. If we're curving and making a nice curve, which I don't see that quite yet. It could be still in the early stages. I look for 3 instances of this. Otherwise, I might need to listen to it for a minute. All right, so I got bearish divergence on 2 indicators down here where they're going down while this is going up for their tops, right? You can see this on the RSI. See the lower high over here. So that's our divergence to be looking at. We're coming in 83% oversold on the RSI. All right, so now let's go down to the 1 hour. Here's our first rejection candle, but we're still above the 9 moving average and have not broke trend line. However, on this trend line, I can see a 1 hump, a 2 hump, a 3 hump, which can be to a dump. And that's just my shorthand version of saying Elliott wave. Although I was looking for this, he's seeing another thing. Say 5 waves completed, ABC correction to the downside. To the correction, probably coming back to where, those areas that we're kind of looking at, right? So definitely at a place to be taking profits is what this is translating to. Bearish divergence across the board over here. And your MACD on the 1 hour is starting to roll over. She hasn't crossed yet, but everything's indicating, smart traders be taking some profits a little bit here. It went up to 0.00094 and it pulled back a little bit. And this is where, I want it to go up. I don't want to take profits now. It's 14% down from the high. I want to go back up there. That's what I hear when I'm in this situation. Yeah, I know. And that same exact voice, just like that. It's annoying as hell, too. I'm like, who talks that way, Sean? Anyway, Elliot, you need to go off my screen now. All right, so let's come down to this even smaller time frame. And this is how we use the time. Oh, you're looking different. You're looking different right now. Ooh. You're deviating. You're trying to curve up. You also gave us a little green buy dot here in stochastic. This 15 minute is looking juicy. 9 is above the 21. The 15 minutes trying to do something here. Do we have a higher target for you? If this was the top, this was our 1-to-1, she may be going to try that ride higher. We need a higher target. We do need a higher target now. I don't think she's done. We saw on the daily where the daily told us it still looked like it had a little bit more in it, right? That's what we're basing this on, not just what we just saw there. We're putting them together. The daily said it, and this one's saying, I'm going to try it. So let's get our measure moves and all that crap out of here, our trend lines, so we can see what we're looking at. And I'm on the week. I didn't mean to go that far. Let me take some of this stuff off, and we're going to pull our fibs again. We're going to get our high target. Let me see a few things. First, in a 618, and you came down to where? A 27. You beautiful baby. I love you. All right, so for our higher area that I'm going to look for a target, because I still think it's got some more upside. I'm basically looking at the one in white, 0.00106, looking for that, as I believe that might be where it gets this rejection at. But it might squeeze on up to this little juicy one right here, because that's in harmony with it, and these are harmonics, 0.00119. 118 area right there. According to my little 15-minute chart over here, we're trying to do that. Banker,